Good evening. Sometimes you just don't know what to say, and then you have to come up with a very special word. So the word of the day is Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You can say it backwards, which is
Dociousfragilisticexpialidocious.
That's going a bit too far, don't you think?
Indubitably.
If you're not a Disney fan, then you should know that comes from the movie Mary Poppins. When I was a young boy, about 3 years old, I loved Mary Poppins. I got to go see it at the local movie theater, and I thought it was just the greatest movie ever. I even drove my older cousin about crazy because I begged my mother until she bought me one of those old 33 1/3 speed long playing albums, and I would put it on the record player and play all the songs from the movie over and over and over again, and she would come and babysit for me, and I would make her play that over and over and over, and she really wanted to break my record, but she never did.
To this day, she hates Mary Poppins.
She got a little bit of revenge when Sarah came along because we wore out a couple VHS tapes, and I think even now we've got a Blu-ray disc with the movie Mary Poppins on it, and I know we have a Blu-ray disc with the new Mary Poppins movie too. If you don't know, the story of the movie is that Mary Poppins comes to be a nanny for this English family. The daddy's all wrapped up in his banking job, and the mom's all wrapped up in her cause. She is working for women's rights. She's trying to get women the right to vote. And they get so wrapped up in what they're doing that they kind of ignore the children, and the children are left for the nanny to take care of, or the cook or the maid to have to look after them if the nanny doesn't show up, because they have driven off several nannies with the activities that they do. But when Mary Poppins comes along, she takes them under her wing, takes them on several very imaginative and fancy outings, and the children fall in love with Mary Poppins. And Mary Poppins changes this family by helping them realize that their priorities are in the wrong place. And of course, when she gets this done, it's time for Mary Poppins to leave. I cried when she left at the end of the movie. But really, the movie's about priorities. We need to keep our priorities straight, just like Mary Poppins got that family to change their priorities, because at the end of the movie, it ends with mom and dad and the two children flying kites in the park and having a good time together. Their priorities had changed. During this time that we've gone through recently, we need to make sure we have our priorities straight. With all the things that are happening right now in our society, I think we need to remember the number one priority we should have. When a Pharisee asked Jesus what was the greatest commandment, he said it was to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and all your strength. And the second commandment is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. If we would make those two things our priorities, then the world would be a much better place. We wouldn't be worried about people being prejudiced to people, because we would realize that all people are God's children, and we would love them all and treat them like we should. And the world and all those around us would be much better off. I hope you have a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious day, and I hope you have your priorities straight. Have a great day.